Hey guys, welcome back to Rossoneri TV. I'm Gio and I'm here for a new AC Milan news live stream where I'll be giving you the latest news currently going on at the club. Before I get started, I would like to apologize for not me being able to really keep a steady schedule in the past few days. Some days it's just going crazy, whether it's at school, other commitments. I cannot always keep a steady schedule sometimes, so bear with me if I'm not capable of really posting at the same time each day. But we do have some news coming in today. These news were actually initially mentioned yesterday by various sources, but I did want to touch upon this specific report regarding Martin Caceres. Now, as you may know, the transfer window was closed already on January 31st, so some of you may be wondering, how is it possible that we might be able to sign Martin Caceres? Well, of course, Martin Caceres is a free agent, and that means that he's not under contract, he's not under a team, so technically we are not buying him from someone, and that's what the transfer market really stands out for. Since he's a free agent, he's allowed to be picked up by any team in a window in which a transfer window currently doesn't take place, and that's why Milan could potentially get their hands on him. Now, Martin Caceres did undergo his medicals earlier today at Milanello. Everything seems to be good. Now, the main issue is regarding his wages, his payment. What's important to say is that Milan is considering keeping him at the club until the end of the season, so it will be around a 4-month contract. That's what Milan is currently discussing at the moment. But in terms of wages and what he's supposed to be earning in this 4-month period, it's still unknown and it's still a bit of a mystery. From what we know though, Caceres has asked for about 1.5 million euros. That's the latest. We have in updates coming in from Sky Sports. But Milan is actually thinking of giving him a contract with various bonuses linked to his appearances. So this might include number of appearances that he makes, whether he gets clean sheets for the team, goals, stuff like that, little criterias that could either increase or decrease his wages at the end of this 4-month period. Like I said, Caceres still hasn't given an official answer yet to Milan, whether or not this economic offer benefits him or not. But it seems that Galliani has also raised the offer. So like I said, we still are not quite clear on the actual amount of his wages, on what Milan is actually willing to pay for him. But speaking about Martin Caceres, many people are probably asking, why are we even interested in this guy? Why is he interested in why are we interested in getting a player out of the transfer window? Well, the main point here to understand is that we have several players out on injury. As you guys may already know, if you read the news, you guys will probably know that Teixeira and Antonelli are going to be out for a while. So we don't have any player that has really been playing a long time there to play on the left back side. It seems to be that even Vangioni could be playing against Sampdoria this weekend. Vangioni, of course, was seen for a few minutes against Udinese after Teixeira's injury. But other than that, we really don't have any other player that could play on the left back. Obviously, you could consider Calabria, but I think he was having some problems in that position as well, or some fitness problems related to him in the past few days. So, lots of problems currently going on at Milan in terms of injuries. Like I said, Teixeira, Antonelli, they're not doing too well, and they're going to be out for a few weeks. So Milan is looking to add this versatile player, a player that could play in different roles in the defense line. Of course, Martin Caceres could play as a center back, he could play as a fullback as well, so he could cover many roles. More than likely, his purpose at the club will be to play as a fullback to replace these injured players. But speaking about Martin Caceres, the only thing that really doesn't convince me about him is that besides his age, he's 29. I don't really care about that because we do have players that are in their late 20s, even early 30s. My main concern is that this guy hasn't been playing for over a year now. due to injuries. He's definitely very prone to injuries. Even though he's an experienced player that has achieved a lot at Juventus, he has won lots of titles, scored goals, and so forth. Played for the Uruguay national team. I completely understand all of this, but the main point to me, the main thinking that I do all the time when thinking about Caceres is that he's an injury-prone player. He had to go undergo surgery. Unfortunately, like I said, he hasn't played in a competitive match for over a year, and that to me obviously brings a lot of concerns. Is he really a player that we're going to need to replace certain players? How good or how well could we actually depend on this guy to get the job done at the end of the day? These are all questions that Milan definitely ask themselves. At the end of the day, it's not like they're paying a club to buy him. They're not paying anyone for a loan. They're just simply paying his wages. And to me, simply, I guess he's going to be a good addition if Milan could get him. Mostly based on the fact that we are not paying anything in terms of transfer funds. And all we're paying are his wages. But like I said, lot is left to be desired for this player. He has his pros, he has his cons. He's definitely capable of bringing his experience. I think this team definitely lacks a bit of experience when you look at it. Other than that, like I said, he did succeed at Juventus. He did very good things for them. Got lots of results, lots of trophies, and so forth. So overall, he's a pretty good player. Whether he's dependable or not, that is the main issue for me. That's the biggest area of concern, whether he's going to be fit to even play and replace players when he's going to be asked to do it. But let me know your take on Caceres. Do you guys see him as a proper player that could come in and aid his teammates, players that will be out due to injury, players that won't be able to get playing time, and so forth? Do you guys see Caceres as a piece that could impact the defense, that could help them out and maybe strengthen it? Let me know all of that in the comments section below. I'll be reading your comments for the next few minutes. So let's get right into it. DJ Ram says he's an injury-prone player and in an already injured squad. Like I said, and like you mentioned perfectly there, DJ Ram, you said it. He's an injury-prone player, and this team already had their problems with injuries this season. Lots of injuries. So why are we even going to add another player that's injury-prone? And I completely understand your point. Like I said, maybe you would want to get someone that's more dependable, a guy that could actually be match fit, even though he hasn't played in a long time. He's not that injury prone, and that's the thing with these free transfers, you know, or not even free transfers, maybe free agents. That's what I meant. That's the thing with them, you know, you can't get everything out of these free agents. Why they're not with the team, it's pretty much answered for. I mean, the answer is right there. It's because they're injury prone. They cannot commit to full match fitness. They cannot commit on every week, on the basis of every week. And he's going to have problems, in my opinion, from now on till the end of the season, just the same, even if he does join Milan. So definitely that's a major area of debate. Like I said before, to me, the major concern is whether he could even get the job done at Milan. Why are we going to bring someone in if he's not going to be match fit and he's not going to even be there for the purpose of it? What, he's just going to be there to warm up the bench if he's not fit? That's not the player we need. At that point, you know, might as well not even sign him. But I think that, you know, Caceres could be good with his experience, but he could have also some downsides. Franco Marcela says, I know Caceres has played a lot of positions for Juve. Where do you think he will play? Romagnoli tried left back today in training, so maybe Caceres will play center back with Romagnoli left back with all these injuries. Personally, I don't think that he's going to be playing as a center back. Like I said before, he's capable of playing in different positions, but I definitely think that he's going to come in to play more as a fullback. Romagnoli is going to be playing in that center back role, that's for sure. I know he was tried as a left back. But maybe for the game against Sampdoria, he's going to be playing as a left back, Romagnoli that is. But for future games, if Caceres joins, then Romagnoli will convert back to a center back and pair it up with Paletta. But I'll be speaking all about Romagnoli's position and what we could expect for the defense on Sunday's game against Sampdoria in tomorrow's match preview. So look out for that one. Mr. Oliveri85 says the only problem from Caceres, it's outside the game. DJ Ram says out of all free agent players, Galliani picks a player who's already has so many injuries. Well, personally, I don't really know the other players that we could pick up that are free agents in terms of fullbacks. Maybe give me some other options because I'm not quite aware of any. Mr. Olivieri also says that Caceres passed the medical check. I already mentioned that. Federico Nicolini says Abate breaks down the attack and defense. How he plays in our team, I don't know. I think what he means to say here, Federico, is that Abate is not consistent in his everyday performance, and I completely agree with him. I mean, based on the fact that he's the captain, every time moving forward, he's not capable of providing a good contribution to the attack, and same goes for when he plays defensively. So, completely agree with you. Wyatt says, I thought the contract was until next season. Well, it's until this season ends. That's what I've read. I don't think he's being considered to be kept for another season. I think Milan, first of all, if I was Milan, I would make sure that the player is set for to play for the long term, and not only I don't want to sign a guy and be like, okay, we're gonna keep you until the end of next season, but he's not fit, he's not capable of playing, and what, you're gonna just be paying his wages for no reason? I think Milan need to take a more cautious approach here. They need to evaluate him, see how he does in these 4 months, and if he's worth to keep, then offer him a contract for a few more years. Like I said, he's still 29, so he's not that old. He's still capable of playing. He still has lots of years in his career, that's for sure. But if I was Milan, I would be more cautious and give him this 4-month contract, sort of a trial to see if he could contribute in the long run to the club. Also, if you consider all the stupid signings and all the stupid players that we signed in recent years that were injury prone or just weren't good enough, what happened in the end? We were just capable of paying their wages, and these guys were getting nothing done for us. So I think Milan needs to stay away from these mistakes. They made way too many of them in recent years. We need to focus on better things. Emilio says, rather than asking why Caceres, the real question is who else could we have gone for? That's exactly the question that I was asking some people before when they were saying that, that he's not, like, who else could we sign for that, for a free agent? That's exactly my question, and at the moment, I really don't know. That's why I was saying, who else do we have as options to sign as free agents to replace a left back, a full back like De Sciglio or Antonelli? Not many options if you ask me. B Burger says, sorry I missed the beginning. What is the deal and when will we be getting him? It seems to be that, first of all, to answer your first question, the deal is probably a 4-month deal. Like I said, he's a free agent, so we will be signing him just to pay his wages. We're not buying him from a club, so we don't have to pay anyone money. All it is paying the player wages until the end of the contract that Milan will give to Caceres, which more than likely will be 4 months. That's what we know about it. When we could get him, most likely tomorrow. Galliani is currently waiting for an answer from Caceres, and reports are saying that tomorrow will be the day in which he will be getting that answer. Puppet Malo says it's a good addition for the defense. Anthony Saba says, isn't having Caceres for depth and experience better than not having him at all? Even if he only gets a few starts, his purpose will be filled. Caceres will also be helpful for FIFA matches. Well, besides the depth and experience, really what it is getting a proper backup for these guys. Unfortunately, De Sciglio and Antonelli, like I said, they've been our main fullbacks on the left side, at least for quite a long time. Whenever one was injured, the other one would replace him, and we've seen that over and over the course of the season. But now at this point, we got both of them being injured. Deschilio's going to be out for 3 to 4 weeks. Antonelli, I'm not quite sure how long he's going to be out for, but I heard that he will undergo further tests in 2 weeks' time, from what I remember. And therefore, who do you really have to replace those guys? We have already tried Calabria for a few games in that left back position. To me, it just spelled disaster every time he was playing on that side. Wasn't good enough, not as good as his right side. So really the only option that is left is, of course, Vangioni. Vangioni only played a few minutes against Udinese last time around. And simply speaking, I don't know if he's going to be able to play consistently on that side. You want a guy that's already experienced in the Serie A. Like you said, there could bring depth, could bring experience. I think Caceres is a perfect player for that. He's a winner. He's done good things in the Serie A. He's won games. He also played on the national team with Uruguay. He's capable of doing good things. That to me is the most positive sign that you could get from him. But along with this positive signs that you can get from Caceres, there's also a lot of negatives. Like I said, very injury-prone player. Didn't play for a full year in competitive matches. So what he could bring to the table, it's really, we have to see what happens with that. Moving on with some more questions. Lagarto27 says, just a waste of money. So many fullbacks we have and center backs. We are so good. He won't replace our captain and he won't replace Vangioni. He has no future in this club. Antonelli kills him. Like I said, this really has nothing to do with him being a starter or being the future at our club. What he's really being brought in for is to be a replacement for Antonelli and Deschilio, at least for now, since they're injured. And, you know, like someone was mentioning there, if you could just bring in for the depth and experience, then why not? Then again, we are not paying 5 million to any club. We're not buying him from anyone. All it is, it's wages that we probably already saved from Luis Adriano. So I don't think it will be a major problem in terms of paying his wages. And plus, we're waiting for money to come in the summer. So that won't be a problem. All it is, it's a short-term fix, I guess, to some injury problems. Short-term fix in terms of backup to that position. But to replace Antonelli or Deschilio, there's no absolute chance for him to do that in the future of his career. So at the moment, like I said, I think Milan are just thinking short-term. They're not really thinking long-term with Caceres. And that's why they're offering him, or at least they were offering him a contract which was based mostly on bonuses and the appearances that he makes and what he's capable of accomplishing before actually giving him some a contract just based on a wage. And that is obviously very different if you ask me, because you can just go out there and pay someone 1 million, 1.5 million just for the duration of those 4 months, and anything could happen those 4 months. You could even break a leg again. He could just get injured and he's going to be out for 4 months. At the end of the day, he's making that 1.5 million. So I think, like I mentioned before, Milan needs to be more cautious with these types of deals. They need to be, less naive rather than anything else. And they need to go with that type of strategy, like I said, that rather than giving him a fixed contract on wages, they should give him a contract on bonuses, which pretty much will either increase or decrease based on his appearances and all those other factors that I mentioned before. The Rossoneri is saying, how old is he? He's 29 years old at the moment. Kyle Lorio says, if we were able to purchase a defender this summer, is there a particular player that you would see Milan pick up? At the moment, there were at least a few center backs that Milan was interesting, but at the moment it quite seems that they're still interested maybe in Musacchio. I'm not quite sure if Fasone and Mirabelli are still after him. I think they are, from what I read in recent weeks. So I think that's a player that they will be more than likely to go for in the summer. Lagarto says, Gio, you're not thinking. If it's for experience, we already have a bat who has played with legends and won the Serie A with this club. Alright, man, I'm not even gonna answer anymore because I don't know if you're trolling or not, but anyways. DJ Ram says, shit on Galliani's face. That's all I can say. I had it, man. Milan need to overall in the summer, starting with Galliani. We already know that. We spoke about it many times. Also, we have to remember, and Lagarto, this is getting back to you. Caceres is not going to be playing on the right side. Like I said, he's being brought in for that left side where the injuries really are. He's not going to be replacing Abate. He's not going to be replacing him as the captain or whatever you're thinking of. All it is bringing in a backup, which I personally see as there's nothing to lose. Really, there is nothing to lose. Because all you are doing is replacing, at least for the time being that they're injured, Antonelli and De Sciglio. When they come back, I'm pretty sure that Antonelli will be getting the starts. I'm pretty sure De Sciglio will be getting the starts. These are the guys that have been playing week in and week out from the beginning of the season with Milan. So no one's going to come in and just take their place like that, especially for a guy that's not going to be at the club long term. Like I said, once again, I'm going to repeat it one last time. It's a short-term fix. That's the 3 words you got to understand. At the end of the day, that's what it is. Mr. Olivieri says 1.5 is comprised of taxes. That should be approximately 1 million. No, it's actually gross. It's 1.5 million gross. So it's nothing with taxes. Sal McGee says he will join, but he will play after 1 month, not faster, because he hasn't played for 9 months, so he needs to get fit again. I think it's more than 9 months. From what I remember and what I saw in terms of statistics, the guy's been out for a year, so it's more than that. Would I like Calabria to start over Vangioni? To be honest, I've seen Calabria in that position. I wasn't impressed. Vangioni, I've not seen enough of him to be able to actually judge him or give a proper, analysis on the player. But I would like to see more of Vangioni, to be honest. I think he hasn't been really given a chance to prove himself this season. But, maybe if he does get more playing time, he could actually prove himself in that position. I would definitely like to see more from him, that's for sure. Caceres is quite a versatile player. He can play center back as well. I already mentioned that as well. Vangioni has experience on the left and as an attacking fullback. And yes, like many people were saying, the guy could also, Vangioni could also move forward. You could play as a midfielder, and I think that's what his agent was saying when he joined. He could have a more advanced role than just a fullback. So that's very interesting to see, and that's why I said I'm interested to see what he could do if he gets more playing time, because I still remember the words from Vangioni's agent when he came, and he said that this player will win the fans' trust and love almost instantly. Well, we didn't really get a chance to do that. We didn't get a chance to see him enough to actually base our opinions on that. But at the end of the day, that's what I said. If his agent mentioned those words, I'm not saying that you should take every agent's words for granted. Raiola, but anyways, what I mean by that is if we could give him a chance, if at the moment De Sciglio and Antonelli are not capable of playing and Vangioni could get a start now before Caceres comes, let's say, these are the games that he needs to prove himself and that he's actually worth of starting games. So we'll see exactly what happens. It's funny how football is, though. Sometimes, just a few weeks ago, we were mentioning how Vangioni or Rodrigo Eli could leave Milan because they want to get more playing time. And it's funny because injuries happen out of nowhere. They just happen out of nowhere. They could happen in the times when you're just not even thinking of them. And then you can get that chance, really, when the spotlight is put on you and just out of nowhere. And that's exactly what could happen to Vangioni now. Is it true that Romagnoli will play as a left back? Romagnoli is only probably going to play as a left back for the game against Sampdoria, guys. People keep asking me, is he going to be playing as a left back now? He's not going to play fully as a left back. All it is, like I said, Caceres won't be playing on Sunday, even if he joins tomorrow. I don't think he even had a training session. He's not even going to have a training session with the team, so there's no chance he's going to be playing against Sampdoria on Sunday. What it's probably going to be, I'm going to be speaking more into detail tomorrow. But what's it going to be is going to be Romagnoli on the left, and probably Paletta paired up with Zapata in the middle. But I'm not thinking of this as the preferred lineup from, at least for the defense part, for Montella from now on until Desciglio Antonelli comes back. I really don't think that that's the case. I think it's something that Montella wants to adapt to for at least this game against Sampdoria. Abdallah says Sosa needs to start against Sampdoria. He provides a more creating attacking play than any other midfielder at the moment in Milan. There might be the possibility of actually seeing Jose Sosa playing there in the middle against Sampdoria, from what I read in the recent probable starting 11s. But like I said, I'll be speaking about all of that tomorrow in the match preview for Milan Sampdoria. Franco Marcella says, Vangioni or Caceres, who would you prefer to get the current starting left back position? I will probably have to go with Vangioni, just for the simple fact that Caceres hasn't played for more than a year. And you just can't throw a dead body on the field and expect him to do good things out of nowhere after not playing in a competitive match for so many months. So if I had to answer your question, I would probably go with Vangioni. Arjun says, I think Caceres is a good option as many defenders in Milan were injured, so Caceres will be okay as he is a free agent, so it's a good deal. All it is, why Milan is even considering Caceres in the first place, it's because of these injuries. If Milan didn't have all these injuries, we all know that Caceres wasn't even going to be considered by Milan in this period where the transfer window is not even taking place. Caceres is actually a name that Milan was thinking for a long time, and given the fact that it seems to be restabilized now, they might want to give him a shot. Like I said, there's nothing to lose. They're not giving him a 4-year contract, or they're not telling him, here's a contract in your hands. If he wants a contract for the long run, he's going to have to earn it, and really, it's going to be based on these 4 months. But personally, I'm not expecting him to stay long-term at the club at all. And I'm going to repeat it again, it's a short-time fix. Montella played Kuchka in the left to try him out, but I heard Abate is good for the game against Sampdoria. I didn't hear about Kuchka being played as a left back. Is that what you're saying? Abate plays on the right though, so I don't know what that has to do with the left. Not quite sure if you guys are getting your positions mixed up there, but anyways. Joe Tori says, I've not seen Caceres much. What are his main strengths? Well, he's fast. He's capable of heading the ball. Tackling is good. He has a good lot of qualities, I would have to say. But like I said, it really all depends on how he's capable of adapting to the game. One last question before I sign off. Dimitri says, Joe, do you think that Montella should change formation now that Jack is out? Let's say to a 4-2-3-1 with Sosa and Kuchko as the DM and Pasalic behind the striker. I get this question, I think, a million times a day. I haven't counted it, but boy, do I get it a lot of times. And personally, I don't think that a change of formation is going to happen. The 4-3-3 will stick with Montella. That's what he likes. That's what he's probably going to be using. Pasalic behind the striker, I don't think that's a realistic option for Montella. And he's for sure going to be sticking with the 4-3-3. It's not a bad idea what you're mentioning, but I'm pretty sure that Montella won't be changing formation anytime soon. Milan tried Caceres even this summer. The Milan channel director has confirmed this news. Yes, I already mentioned it last year in the summer. If you guys were following me back then, there were reports already of Caceres being linked to Milan. I mentioned this many times, and finally it seems that it could be true. Anyways, guys, like I said, nothing is official yet. We're still waiting for the final answer for Caceres tomorrow. He's supposed to be giving Galliani that answer. And we're going to be exactly seeing what Milan makes out of his contract, how long it's going to be, what he's going to be earning on wages, if there's any bonuses to be allocated with his contract. That's more than likely to be taking place tomorrow. So once we have the details, we're going to be speaking all about that. But tomorrow will be the match preview for the game against Sampdoria. We'll be having that at the usual time. And obviously on Sunday we'll be having the live stream watch along with the match review. So thank you all guys for coming in today and for watching. Your comments are always appreciated. I like all of your opinions. Like I said, it's pretty good. But on that note, once again, don't forget to subscribe to Rossoneri TV to stay updated with everything going on at AC Milan on a daily basis. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow for another video. This has been Gio signing off. And as always, Forza Milan.